This right here is the laptop that I've been using for the past 3 years. It is an incredible laptop. I mean, I got nothing wrong to say about this laptop. It has a beautiful display, a 1080p display that gets fairly bright. It has an awesome processor, a Core i7. It has an NVIDIA GPU. But of late, the laptop has been giving me major overheating issues. I mean, this laptop gets really hot. I could literally boil an egg beside the heat vents. So after a little bit of research, okay, mostly Google, I found that one of the major problems facing such laptops is actually something to do with the thermal paste inside there. So I decided to do what anybody else can do, and that is open up my laptop and change the thermal paste. Yeah, anyone can do that. So what do I need when doing this? Okay, the first thing I'm going to need is, well, of course, a set of screwdrivers. I don't know if I'm going to find one that will open the laptop though. The second thing is the thermal paste itself. This thermal paste, I got it off Jumia. It was around 500 shillings. And the third thing I'm going to need is something to clean the all thermal paste with, and that happens to be this alcohol pads. Yeah, these are medical grade alcohol pads. I don't know if they're going to work with the laptop or if I'm going to destroy my laptop. Anyways, stick with me till the end as I try to open my laptop. I don't know if it's going to work or if I'm going to definitely destroy this laptop. I guess we'll find out. So make sure to stick with me till the end of this video. So let's dive right in. Ooh.
We are in after a few screws, that is. On the left you can see this is the CPU, and on the right you can see the GPU over here. So most of these screws actually you can see have numbers on them. It's actually advisable to start with the highest number when you're opening it. When you're trying to remove the heatsink, going to the lowest number when removing it. But when you're putting the heatsink on after you've put your thermal paste, it's advisable to go the other way around, starting from the first number to the last number, which we are down to our last screw. This is screw number 1. As you can see, as I already told you, we begin from the highest number, which was 6, now to the first number, which is 1. And after removing this screw, we can now remove the heatsink. So let's go ahead and try to remove the heatsink. Okay, let's remove the heatsink right now. Yeah, there goes the heatsink. So that is what actually cools the laptop. As you can see, the all thermal paste is really flaky, and I don't know how it works. And that's the GPU over there. It's super old. No wonder my laptop has been really getting hot. So that's what we're trying to do right now. And man, just see how dirty the heatsink is. That's full of lint and dirt and everything it's been collecting over the years. So the first thing I'm going to try and do right now is definitely try to go and clean the heatsink. So after a little persuasion with the petrol station guy to blow air into the heatsink, as you can see, it's good as new. There's zero dirt over there, it's clean. And this guy only charged me 20 shillings to actually blow the entire heatsink out of all the air on it. So the second thing you're going to do, as you can see, there's some remnants on the heatsink of the all thermal paste, which are definitely going to try and scrap off. I don't know what I'm going to use to scrap off, maybe an ID or something, but I hope I'm going to make it work. So let's try to scrape the all thermal paste off. The all thermal paste, as you can see, is very flaky right now, both of them. And using my ID card or anything else, actually, I'm going to definitely try and scratch it all out. Hopefully it's going to work. Yeah, it's actually working. It's very easy to actually scratch it off using the ID. But don't destroy your school ID trying to do such things. Please don't. You can use anything else, but don't choose something that is definitely going to scratch or destroy the CPU, because the CPU is rather very sensitive, because I think it's made of glass, or not really glass, or a shiny surface. It looks really shiny. Yeah, kind of. There it goes. A lot of it has actually been removed, luckily. But yeah, as you can see, it's not that bad. So let's try to remove the GPU side. That's the NVIDIA GT555M. It's a rather old GPU, but it does work. allows me to play little games here and there, you know, this video editing. And yeah, there it goes, trying to the thermal paste. Let's open up the alcohol pads I'd shown you earlier. This is 70% isopropyl alcohol, but you really do need 99% of isopropyl alcohol to use it. I hope it works. Yeah, and you can see it actually cleans it off. The whole thermal paste is actually going out, and it's really getting clean and shiny all of a sudden. But you really should buy 99% or 90% isopropyl alcohol to avoid destroying your computer. So when you're using 70% isopropyl alcohol, you should rather be careful, because you don't wanna, you know, touch the contacts or anything else, then may end up destroying your laptop. So let's open up another pad, another alcohol pad to use on the GPU side of things. And as you can see, the GPU also gets really clean really quickly, and it's back to being some really shiny aluminum. I think that's aluminum. Yeah, that is aluminum actually. So the GT55FM is looking good as new. I mean, for future use, I definitely am going to consider another GPU, because this GPU is really getting really old. It struggles to do a lot of things, especially video editing, and it actually struggles mostly on playing games. So let's go back to the CPU, clean it a little bit. You really have to make sure that there is no residue left on the CPU and the GPU when doing it. So let's go back to the heatsink and let's clean off it too. We are also going to use the same way as we did with the CPU and the GPU, and just use a little bit of alcohol pads to clean it all out and make sure that no residue is left behind of the old. Time to apply the thermal paste. So this is what I bought off Jumia. It's a thermal compound, or a thermal paste as you may say. There it is. I'm going to leave a link down in the description below for the people who are willing to buy it, or people who are willing to actually open up their laptop and do what I've just done. So let's go ahead, open it up and apply the thermal paste. It's a bit hard to open. Yeah, there it goes. So let's do it. You should be really careful to apply the thermal paste. Be careful not to put too much or too little. Too much to spread all over the laptop, and you're gonna make a mess, and too little, which may not be a good insulator enough and may poorly supply heat to the heatsink. So let's go to the GPU and also apply it. I want to apply too little. No, I think that's too little. Let me apply a little bit more. Yeah, that is it. So we're done with the application of the thermal paste. Let's close it. If you want this, I can give it to you wherever you are, but as long as you're within Nakuru, though, so let's dive right in. So let's put the heatsink back on. Make sure that the heatsink is thoroughly clean too. I mean, you don't want to leave any pieces or anything of debris pieces of it, which is going to create space between it and the thermal and the CPU and the GPU. So let's go ahead, put it back on and see. We want to make it sure it's thoroughly clean, 100%, nothing, no residue left behind. So let's do it. You should be very careful when applying, when putting it back in. You know, check the numbers, make sure it aligns well with the screws and everything else. And once you've put the heatsink on, do not try and remove it, because once you try to remove it, you're definitely going to destroy the where you've put it, and you're going to interfere with the thermal properties of the laptop. So be very gentle when putting it in, but once you put it, or if you think you've made a mess, do not try to remove it. Just let it go down. Do not try to remove it. Once it's in, it's in, because when you remove it again and try to replace it, you're going to create vacuum, which is not going to be very healthy for the CPU. So there it goes. And as Adela said, screwing it in, we started with the highest number when opening it, but this time around you're going to open with the first number actually, which is number 1, going all the way to the 4th number. The main reason why you should do that is because there is a way when you put it, it's going to apply pressure to the thermal paste and make sure that it's actually sticking well into and creating a good thermal sealing between the processor and the heatsink to allow sufficient heat release from your laptop. So that is number 4. I'm in the 5th right now, as you can see. This is the 5th screw. I'm tying it in. I'm screwing it in the 5th and the last one soon. So yeah, there goes. We should try to be very, very gentle though. Do not screw too much that you're going to break other pieces of the laptop. I mean, your laptop is very, very, very sensitive. So if you put in too much pressure, you may end up destroying the laptop. So let's do this. Get the last screw, the 6th screw, put it in there and be very, very gentle with it. So there goes the 6th screw. Oh, I don't want to destroy anything. Oh yeah, it's rather weird. And please don't tighten it too much, because you may end up actually destroying the threads of the screw. So there it goes. That is done. That is it. So let me close the laptop up and try to turn it on. I hope it works. I really hope it works. I really hope it works, man. I'm praying right now. I don't want to destroy the laptop, you know. This, I don't want to destroy it. I really hope it works. So let me put the fan back on. Fan is back on. And yeah, just a few screws, yeah, and we are done. So let's see.
So as you can see, the laptop actually does work, which is a great relief, but it's actually going to take some time for me to actually test it out and see if the thermals are still going to remain the same, or if I've actually done better for the laptop by changing the thermal. I mean, I went into this project expecting nothing at all. I thought that I was going to destroy my laptop by actually messing with the CPU and the GPU in there, but thank God the laptop is actually working, as you can see. So the question is, should you try to do it yourself? Well, if your laptop has been giving you a lot of overheating issues and all that, I think it will be good for you to actually seek help from a person who knows about computers. Seek help from that computer shop around there and around you. And if they tell you the issue is maybe with the thermal paste, then you can go ahead and try to change it by yourself. But not really, you shouldn't do it yourself, because you may actually risk destroying your laptop. How much did all this actually cost me? For the thermal paste, that was around 500 shillings. The alcohol pads, that was around 300 shillings. And for the screwdriver set, maybe you have your own. I actually bought mine for 330 shillings on Jumia. So that brings us to a total of around 1,200 shillings over there. And I'm going to leave links down in the description below for everything you're going to need when you think or when you should maybe change your thermal paste in the laptop. There are a lot of upgrades you can do to your laptop. And if you're willing and if you like this kind of content, please make sure you subscribe and hit that like, and please share this video to other people who may want to change thermal paste or want to upgrade laptop in one way or the other, because I'm going to do a lot of things with this laptop. So please make sure you stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching.